Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I'm okay with using my camera.
Alright, get over here. Alright, get over here, Meg. Alright. You and I are going to read this story until we don't want to read any more of it. How's that sound?
I don't think I'm...
Are you fine with this?
I don't know.
Okay. So, you be some of the characters' voices, and I'll do the narrating.
Okay.
Alright?
I'm really awkward at character voices.
You'd be surprised.
I am surprised
You'd be
about
surprised.
how awkward
No.
I am.
No, you're going to be amazing. Applejack was laying on her front porch at her home, Sweet Apple Acres. She was waiting for her friend Pinkie Pie to come over so they could hang out. It was going to be an interesting whether Pinkie had decided to act like herself today, but even if not, it would still be interesting. Pinkie had not been the shiniest apple of the crop the past week. She was usually a very bubbly, fun-loving pony. Pinkie should be feeling better by today, Applejack thought to herself. She then looked up from her hopeful thought to find that her theory was incorrect. There was a cringing pink party pony hunched over with her mane flat as the ground she stood on. Applejack was disheartened by this melancholy scene before her eyes. She had never seen Pinkie this depressed before, not even when she thought her friends were plotting against her so they didn't have to go to her parties. "Oh, howdy, Pinkie Pie. How you doing this fine morning?" Applejack inquired. At this question, Pinkie let out an enormous sigh and said,
Well, you could probably guess how I'm doing this fine morning, Applejack.
Applejack frowned at this statement and said in a comforting tone, "Oh, now, Sugar Cube, you can't be that bad off now." Pinkie gave her a dirty look and said,
"You know what, AJ? I'm not really that bad off."
This confused Applejack into saying, "You're not?"
"No, I'm worse than bad off."
Pinkie almost screamed. "Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Sugar Cube," Applejack said in a worried tone. She was so worried about her friend, she was starting to seriously worry about her friend. She wanted to help, but she didn't know how. She started to ponder this thought. She was so deep in her concerns for Pinkie that she didn't see a certain red brony walk out of the barn to start off his day with some good old apple bucking. Big Macintosh was totally unaware of Pinkie's sudden turn for the worst. Of course, that is, until he saw that same expression he had seen when Pinkie came over to their farm to see what all the commotion was about, when she was under the impression that all of her friends hated her and that she looked even worse this time. Huh. She's so gosh darn cute when she's mad, he thought to himself when he saw her. Oh my God. Shipping.
One of them.
Shipping. He loved her with all his heart and soul, but the only one who knew that was he, and he liked it that way, except he had wanted to tell the one he loved, but he just couldn't bring himself to do so, and he hated himself for that. If only he wasn't so shy about talking about his feelings, and maybe she would love him, but he knew she was too far much out of his league. He knew she was much too bubbly and happy, and he would only bring her down, but that is what he loved about her. She made him happy, and they had a great friendship, and he wouldn't want to ruin that with a silly love life. No, he must keep it a secret, then maybe someday he will see if he let him or not. Right now, he looked over her perfect, flawless body, but then he saw something different about her that you would never see at first glance. He saw she was mating something, the same sweater. She was wearing a sweater, and he didn't know why she was wearing a sweater in the middle of July. In fact, she wasn't breaking a sweat, and at the same time, he oddly admired her for it. He walked over to Applejack, wondering if she knew why Pinkie had made this odd fashion choice this morning, and I'm worried already.
You skipped over most of that.
"Hey, AJ, what's with Polar Pinkie there?" he inquired jokingly. "What are you talking about, Mac?" Applejack asked, quite confused at his random remark. "You mean you didn't notice?" he asked, surprised. "Notice what? What in tarnation are you yammering on about?" She is asked, more confused than ever. "Well, Pinkie is wearing a warm, cozy pink sweater today, and there's nothing wrong with that, except it's the middle of July." he said, exaggerating the word July. She is? Applejack asked, not believing him. Holy shit, this dialogue. Applejack
I kind of want to get to the point already.
To find that her brother was right. Pinkie was indeed wearing a sweater the same color as her fur. Then he turned back to face her brother when she heard him say, I told you so, in an obnoxious tone. Well, what do you know? She is wearing a sweater, Applejack said. I wonder why, she thought aloud. Big Mac answered her by saying, I bet she's hidden from something. No, that couldn't be it. She would never hide from something. She's my friend. I'll go talk to her. I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why in tarnation is that? Well, think about it. If you was as sad as her, you would want to forget about what was making you so sad. I don't follow. Ugh. The point is that she's trying to forget it. You shouldn't bring it up. It'll make her sad. Ooh. Well, then what do we do? We wait. We wait. Alright, you read Twilight Sparkle.
Read for her or read it?
Read it.
Twilight. I do that a lot, so get used to it. Twilight Sparker was working on her new spell. It was a special potion from her book, Supernaturals, used in olden times by medicine ponies for their patients who needed surgery or were in great pain. Twilight was making this ancient remedy for her #1 assistant, Spike. Spike had been grabbing books from the highest shelf after Twilight asked him to find a practical potions. Spike was centimeters within grabbing the book when all of a sudden the ladder rolled away and he fell 10 feet back.
No good. It's no good.
Twilight relived the terrible accident in her mind. She asked Spike to grab her book, and he yells, right away! Then she turns back to her parchment paper and uses her magic to start on her studies. Then she hears a slight shifting followed by a blood-curdling scream. She just had to check it. She had just realized it had escaped Spike's mouth and turned only to hear the most horrible sound to ever pierce her eardrums. The sound of Spike's head cracking against the hard tiled floor. She had taken him to Nurse Redheart, and she had waited in worry for what seemed like an eternity. Kid, no.
What are you doing?
The kid is playing with the thing. Then he finally informed of Spike's condition.
No.
Come here. Where was I? She was told of his he had received slight brain bruising, some minor fractures to his skull, and 50 stitches across his leg. Basically, he was super hurt. And that
is that what point? Where does it say that? It really says that?
No. No, it doesn't.
Oh.
I still want to go on reading the next paragraph. She recalled the smell of it. It was the smell of veins and innards. Veins smell. It was gooey red in color. The thing she had remembered most of the scene was it was Spike's. The potion consisted.
What the fuck do you think it was?
The potion consisted of 3 items: egg, cinnamon, and 3 to 7 apples. She only knew one place that sold apples each and every day of a week, and that was Sweet Apple Acres. She went into the room where Spike was sleeping and looked down in anguish at his anguish-ridden sleeping face. Then she instantly disappeared in a puff of smoke and sparkles. Can she do that? Ow! Ow! Ow!
I bet you wish you could have disappeared in sparkles.
Applejack was just finishing her conversation with Big Mac when suddenly out of the corner of her eye she saw a small flash of purple and smoke and sparkles. She quickly turned to face this cause, and then she saw it was only her friend, who was quite dizzy at the moment, Twilight Sparkles. My kitten's in my shoes.
Hold on for a minute, Mac. Okie-dokie-Loki, he sang.
I don't think he says that.
Oh. Applejack looked at him as if he had just said equestrian was ruled by kittens, and said, "Okay, please never do that again for my sake." He looked at her embarrassed and blushing and said, "Sorry about that. Guess I just missed the old Pinkie Pie." "Don't we all?" she retorted. "Yup." he said in a very deep voice. Applejack decided to assist her
Oh, God.
by saying, "Howdy do, Twilight. What can I do for you, Sugar Cube?"
How would you do a Twilight voice?
Sound like a nerd?
According to my exams, I can't sound like anything.
According to my calculations.
Now we are down to the very bottom of the page. Oh, sorry, was that me?
Yeah, you're Twilight.
Well, Sea Spike fell off the ladder and he hit his head, and I found a potion that will take away his pain, but I don't have one of the ingredients, she said.
Let me guess. You need apples? Applejack said jokingly.
Twilight answered, "Yep."
Sure thing, but I was wondering if you would do me a favor first, she asked of her friend. Well, Pinky is kind of depressed, and well, I'm real worried about her. I just wanted to know if there were any spells you knew that could bring us back to when she first started to get sad and what made her head like this.
Her head.
Applejack asked of her friend.
Twilight was taken by surprise with this request from the orange earth pony. Well, I actually have just the thing that'll do the trick, she said in a proud voice.
Okay, well, can you perform it now?
Sure thing. The unicorn then closed her eyes in concentration. Applejack then also closed her eyes and held on to Twilight tightly.
Twilight?
Twilight. Then she opened one eye in curiosity as the spell was performed by the purple unicorn. She saw the setting around her disappear in a green flash that engulfed everything but the sun. And then they started to travel back in time.
What? Just gonna go back in time randomly? Okay.
Applejack was mesmerized as she watched the 7 days of the past week fly by them like a movie and rewind. Then suddenly it all stopped in there in Pinky's room. Applejack stuck out her room and discussed the complete broken fit Pinky.
At the complete Pinky fit room.
Oh. Everything was pink. Pink beat...
Pink! It's fucking pink! Then in hopped a hopping...
bouncy pony.
Pink pony.
Yes.
Well, this is a short chapter.
I kind of want tea.
Tea! Alright, hold on. Actually,